Hi, I'm Rachel from Away with the Fairies, and today I'm going to show you how to make a sweet pea teepee fairy garden. So I've got myself a nice pale blue plastic pot, and I've put some gravel in the bottom for drainage, and now I'm going to fill it with some potting compost. So I'm just going to smooth it out with my trowel, just so we've got a nice moist bed for the plants. So as you probably know, sweet peas are a climbing plant, so we need something for them to climb up. So what I'm going to do is create a teepee shape using these small garden canes. So I'm just going to put those around the edge of the pot. Make sure they go far enough in though so that they don't fall over. Got 6 here, but I want to leave a gap at the front, which is going to be the entrance to my teepee. So we're going to gather them together at the top and then just tie them with string. That's going to make our teepee shape. Trim the long bits off, and then we have our teepee shape. Next I'm going to plant my sweet peas, which are one of my favourite plants. These unfortunately are looking a little bit sorry for themselves. They should have been planted maybe 2 weeks ago, but never mind, I'm sure they're going to perk up once we put them in our pot. So I'm going to put one of the sweet peas next to each cane. I'm going to work my way around the pot. So I'm just going to pop this last one in here, and then we'll be tying them to the canes. So I'm going to start just tying the sweet peas onto the canes, just to train them so that they grow where we want them to grow. They're going to form a beautiful canopy of flowers. And as I said earlier, the more you cut them, the more blooms you're going to get. So it's going to be beautifully scented, a super place for the fairies to hang out. So don't tie them too tight, just keep them a little bit loose because we don't want to damage the plants. We want to give them space to grow, but we don't want them to all fall over. So just work your way around the whole teepee, just attaching them to the canes. So as you can see, it's starting to take the shape of a teepee, which is quite cool. So I'm just going to add another couple of plants at the front for a bit of colour until the sweet peas start blooming. So this plant is called alyssum. I've not come across it before, but I discovered it in my local garden centre and it smells absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to put 2 of them at the front of my teepee, but any little bedding plant will do, lobelia, maybe a nasturtium, just whatever you fancy. I just like this one, as I say, because it smelled absolutely divine. So it's going to be lovely for the fairies when they enter their teepee, because they're going to get this gorgeous smell of the alyssum. So I'm going to do my usual trick and cover the bare earth with some moss, and luckily I can just collect some from over here. There's some growing on the wall. So I'm going to start covering the earth now with the moss. There's 2 reasons really why the moss is good. It keeps the soil nice and moist and stops it from drying out so quickly, which is great, especially in the summer. And it also looks pretty cool as well. It's a nice kind of mossy bed for the fairies to play on. So I'm just going to work my way around the whole pot, just adding moss and covering the soil. So I think you'll agree it's starting to look really cosy. It'd be a nice place to go for a nap if you're a fairy. So I'm going to start adding some accessories now to the fairy garden, and this is a classic. Here's one I made earlier. So it was a really simple make. It was just 2 little twigs wrapped with tape, and then I cut out some triangles out of felt and glued those to a piece of string, and then tied the string to the twigs. Now I used hot glue, but you can use any kind of contact glue or even PVA, as long as you don't mind waiting for it to dry. So I'm going to add the felt bunting just across the entrance to the teepee to welcome any fairies in. So in true Irish summer fashion, it's raining, so we're going to hang out in the car for a little while and hope it stops so that we can finish the video. So the rain stopped for now, so we're going to try and get the garden finished before it rains again. So I'm just going to add a few accessories. I've got a really nice campfire, which I thought would look really good in the middle of the teepee. So I'm going to just add that now. So we're going to add a noble steed, a fairy unicorn. Going to pop him just there. I've got some other accessories to add, a couple of really cute little fairies and some chairs, so they can use those for around the campfire. 2 cute little fairies to the front of the teepee. As you can see, they've got their chairs and their campfire inside. I think what this garden could do with is a tree sprite, so he's like a little guardian for the fairies, so I'll pop him in there. So here's our finished sweet pea teepee. I think you'll agree it looks really lovely, and so I hope you've enjoyed watching and that you'll be inspired to make one yourself. All these accessories are available on our website, or if you've got your own accessories at home you can use those as well, and obviously you can make the felt bunting yourself. So have fun. Bye.